Hello everyone, I am Laethas and welcome back to another video, and today I have my manga haul for the month of October. I know it's been a while, but I wanted to not record in the middle of the month like last time, because then it doesn't really feel like a monthly haul, but here I am today recording at the end of the month. And real quick, just gonna show the few volumes I picked up that weren't with me. If you'll know, or if you saw my last haul, you'll know I said that I didn't have all the volumes with me, but here they are. First up, we have the third Spice and Wolf light novel, and also the fourth Spice and Wolf light novel volume. Haven't yet finished the first volume, and these were mostly just really cheap, and I needed a series to pad out for free shipping, so I went ahead and picked those up because I know I will continue to read that series. And I also picked up Volume 1 and Volume 2, that is complete for Queen Emeraldus. And I haven't taken a look at this series yet, and I'm kind of sad to not have taken a look at it, because I know this is sort of an older classic series, and I really want to get into it. Hopefully I will be doing so soon. I might do... if you guys want to hear my opinions on it, leave those in the comments down below, because I know this is an older series, and it has these nice hardcover releases put out by Kodansha. But yeah, there are those. And now to get into the haul, I'm going to start off with Yen Press titles, because I only have 2 of them. I have the second Omnibus for Sekirei. And this is still in the shrink wrap, because I am going to hold off on reading the rest of the series until I have it all. I don't think there are going to be too many. I think the series is 18 or 22 volumes, so I think there's going to be 9 or 11 omnibuses. And I'll just wait until those are all out to read it, so I'm keeping it in the wrap to sort of keep it in better condition, but there's that. I also went ahead and picked up the 9th volume of A Bride's Story, and this brings me up to date with the series. I think this came out in September, and so now I'm caught up, and I don't believe they even have Volume 10 in Japan right now, so it's going to be a while before I get another volume of this, but been really enjoying this series. It's nice to just kind of read on its own, doesn't need to be binged, so that's really nice, but there is that. And next up, I'm going to show my vertical pickups. And first off, I have Lychee Light Club. And I've not read this yet, but I hear this is a very, very weird and messed up series. Yeah, I'm excited to get into that. See what I think of it. As I've said, I hear it's very, very strange, very, very odd, and disturbing, I guess, would be the word. But there's that. And next up, I picked up Velveteen and Mandala, which is also another series I hear is absurd and messed up, so who knows what I'll think of this. But there it is, Velveteen and Mandala, another odd sort of crazy series that I probably should not open. And last up, I am caught up on Flying Witch again. I will probably pick these up immediately, and they're very, very quick to read. Probably takes me 15 to 20 minutes to read a volume. And they're just really, really nice, relaxing stories. And if you're just looking for something to relax, Flying Witch is definitely a series I recommend picking up. And one I can't really recommend enough. It's just really calm, really relaxing, and really nice. So there's that. And next up, onto my 7 Seas releases, I have Beasts of Abigaile Volume 2. This just came out, so I'm up to date with the series again. This is probably another series I will wind up binging, so probably not going to read this until I have the rest of the volumes. But from what I read of the first volume, it appears to be a series that I will enjoy. And next up, I have the 3rd volume of Bloom Into You. Again, another Yuri series, and I am a big, big Yuri fan. And just really like this series. It's really well done. Sort of has a Girlfriends-esque feel. not entirely the same, but it feels very similar, and that's always nice. So if you're a Yuri fan and you haven't checked this out yet, I would highly recommend that you do so. And next up, I have Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3 of Ghost Diary. This is complete, and I read up on this. I thought it was interesting, and I knew the third volume was going to come out in October, so I just sort of waited to pick up the whole series so I could binge it and not feel like I had volumes sitting on the shelf. Unfortunately, I have not done so yet, but I will be taking a look at this series very, very soon. And yeah, if you want me to make a video on it, let me know. But yes, volumes 1 through 3 complete of Ghost Diary. And also nice is that this is only a 3-volume series, and if you know me, you know I love short series. Next up, I picked up the third volume of the Kaze-san series, Kaze-san and Shortcake, and this series just continues to get better and better and better with each concurrent volume, so I'm really excited for the fourth volume to come out. Really enjoyed this third volume, but again, if you're a Yuri fan and you haven't checked this series out, I would definitely recommend that you do so. And next up, I picked up the third Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash light novel, and I believe this is new content for those who have been watching the anime, which is always nice. I haven't finished the second volume yet. I finished the first volume. I think I said that before, but I'm not sure. But I've not finished the second volume yet, but once I do, I will definitely be getting into this. Probably won't be picking up any new light novel series until I get rid of my light novel backlog. But yeah, this is definitely a series I enjoy quite a bit. And if you haven't checked it out, I'd recommend watching the anime, since it's only 12 episodes and covers all of the first and second volume, I believe. But there is that, the third Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash light novel. And next up, we're going to be moving into some various publishers, or series by various publishers. First off, I have Sister Red by Comics One. I picked this up on eBay for $3 for the whole series. I've since read it, and it isn't a series I would go out of your way to pick up, but it's decent. It doesn't really have an ending, but for $3, it was definitely a decent read. Not the best series I've read, but certainly not bad. There are definitely worse series that I've read, but there's that. Next up, I have the complete series for Stray Little Devil, and I hear this has some Yuri pandering in it. And I got the whole series for, I think, $8 or $10 on eBay. But, yeah, haven't checked into it yet, but I'm excited to do so, especially since it has Yuri pandering, which is always something that I look for. I like Yuri, and hopefully this series will deliver on that. And next up, I've finally completed my Berserker collection, or at least got up to date. So I finally got shipped volumes 28, 29, 30, and 31 of Berserk, and I have since read the entire series, or at least the entire series that's out in English. And I have to say, this is one of the greatest manga series that I've ever read. I know that a lot of people say that, but it truly is. Every time I'm reading Berserk, every moment I'm reading Berserk is always a good time, and I thoroughly enjoy every minute of my read of this series, so I can't recommend it enough. Unfortunately, Dark Horse is not very nice with this series. Print status, luckily they are reprinting it, but it's still $15 a volume for really not that great quality volumes, so I'd wait for it to go on sale unless you can get it very cheaply. But I would highly recommend picking it up if you can. But great series. Happy to finally have it up to date in English. And I will definitely be picking up the volumes as they come out from this point on. Next up, I have another eBay buy. I have Made in Heaven, Volumes 1 and 2, and this is a Josei title. It appears to be very, very good. I've read a couple pages into the first volume, and then I had to go do something, so I was never able to finish the first volume. But of what I've read, it was very, very good, and I plan on reading it soon. I don't believe it is all that expensive to pick up, even though it's out of print, mainly because it's only 2 volumes, and no one really knows about this series. So if you want to pick it up, I think it's still available from Right Stuff, and maybe from other retailers, but yeah, very nice series. I'm happy to have it, and I'm excited to get into it. Next up, we have Frau Faust from Kodansha. And if you are at all familiar with the Ancient Magus Bride, I would highly recommend picking this series up and reading it. It's very, very similar, and so if you're into the Ancient Magus Bride, this is definitely a series you should read. Very, very good, very similar, and this particular volume, or in particular, has sort of a, let me see here, yeah. It has a one-shot at the end, titled The Invisible Museum. So you get 3 chapters of Frau Faust, and then the one-shot, The Invisible Museum, at the end. So a little extra bonus story at the end of the volume, which is nice. But there's that, Frau Faust Volume 1, and I believe the second volume comes out in November, and I will definitely be picking that up. And now moving into my Viz stuff. Now, this right here I got very cheap. I think I paid $12 or $16, somewhere in that range, for 4 volumes of Skip Beat. So I paid like $3 to $4 per volume, and I've been really enjoying Skip Beat. If you haven't checked it out, I would recommend you do so. Very good series. You know, give it through the 3rd volume to see if it's something you want to continue. But definitely a series I want to continue picking up, and I'm excited to have these 8 volumes and to have found them for such a great price. But there is that. And next up, I have a new type of series for me, and that is Midnight Secretary. And this is the first sort of smut series that I've picked up, and that's mostly because it was a series I was looking at, and the eBay buyer that was selling volumes 1, 2, 3, and 5, he was selling all 4 of those in good condition for $12. And so I went ahead and picked those up, and also went ahead and picked up volumes 4, 6, and 7 that did not come in the lot, but a series I've read a majority of. I think I'm 1 chapter into volume 6. Definitely for a specific audience. It is definitely a smut sort of series. So you probably know already if you're going to like this or if you're not. But it's a series that I'm enjoying. But it's definitely going to vary wildly depending on the individual. In order for me to recommend it to you, I definitely have to know a lot about your tastes and stuff like that for me to feel confident recommending it, but I enjoy it, so if you think your tastes are very similar to mine, you know, I might recommend picking this up as well. But there that is. Next up, I have the second to last 3-in-1 for Hanakimi. Only have 1 more of these to collect before I have the whole series, and yeah. Very nice to see this series. Almost done with it. I only have this volume to read and that 8th one. But yeah, this series is coming to an end, so I'll probably start picking up another shoujo. I'm thinking Maid-sama is going to be the next one that I pick up. But if you have any other suggestions for sort of longer shoujo for me to get into, then you can leave those in the comments down below. But yeah, almost finished with Hanakimi. And next up, I kind of spoiled this in my last video. If you watched that, should you buy Record of the Fallen Vampire? But this was in the background, and I totally forgot about it. But it's Good Night Pun Pun. There it is, This is the final volume in the series. Oh, I should also mention, I don't think I said this, but Midnight Secretary, I have it complete. The 7th volume is the final volume. Yeah, sorry for the interruption there. But yes, Goodnight Punpun, finally complete. I'm probably going to wait until sort of around the holidays when I have a lot of free time, because I just want to read this series and binge it and think only about this series when I'm reading it, because I hear fantastic things about it. And Inio Asano is one of my favorite mangaka, or manga artists, authors. He wrote Solanin, which is probably one of the best manga ever written, so I hear fantastic things about Goodnight Punpun, so very, very happy to finally have this complete. And I will be checking it out, but not right now. I'm going to wait till I have time to just focus on this series, but finally complete, and I'm very happy about that. And last up for my October haul, I have Sweet Blue Flowers Omnibus Volume 1 by Takako Shimura. This is released by Viz Media in their SIG format, and unfortunately, these volumes are 25 apiece, and so I thought they were going to be of the same quality as these Goodnight Punpun volumes, but these really are not that great quality, and so I'm kind of upset, or not really upset, but disappointed that Viz Media decided to print this series by such a well-known author. Or she wrote Wandering Sun, which is, you know, not currently printing, which is unfortunate. I'm not sure if Fantagraphics dropped it or not, but yeah, I'm kind of sad that this series doesn't have a fantastic release, but I'm happy that I have it, and the release isn't bad. It's still very good. You can see spine doesn't bend, and I do like the look of the omnibuy as opposed to singles typically. The only reason I prefer singles is because the quality typically is better, but I like the bigger volume look. But that's enough about that. Sweet Blue Flowers, I'm waiting until I get the whole series, which is a total of 8 volumes, or it's going to be 4 of these omnibuy, and then I will binge this series. And I have very high hopes for it because I've seen the anime for this, and I've seen the anime for Wandering Sun. Thought they were both fantastic, and so this is a series I'm very excited to get into, and hopefully it'll be just as good as what I'm thinking it will be. But that will do it for this haul video. If you'd like to inquire or have specific questions about any specific series I've mentioned, series in the background, questions about anything, want to see a review, stuff like that, leave those in the comments down below. I think I said recommendations. You can leave those down there as well if I hadn't said that already. But yes, that will do it for my October haul. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and share, and if you'd like to keep up to date with all of my content, you can hit that subscribe button. But anyway, that will be all. I am Laethas. Goodbye.